The notification flashed across my phone as I stood in the driveway, the taste of stale laughter from the family reunion still clinging to my tongue. For a moment, the world narrowed, just a pinhole of light, just the cold glow of the screen. My wife's sister noticed my expression. She smirked as if she'd been waiting for this moment. "We needed it more than you," she said casually, like she was asking for salt at dinner. Something inside me tilted. Not broke, just shifted. My fingers trembled, but my voice didn't. "When people take what isn't theirs," I whispered, reaching slowly for my wallet, "they should never mind what comes after." They laughed, all of them, a chorus of comfortable thieves. Then, the front door flew open behind us, rattling the windows. Someone screamed upstairs. For a second, they all froze. I didn't, because in that moment, the pieces finally slid into place. The empty account, the whispering behind closed doors, the family emergencies, the sudden expenses, the distance in my wife's eyes. And earlier that day, a phone call from my daughter-in-law, sharp as broken glass. "If you want to join Thanksgiving," she snapped, "come wash the dishes." I remember how quiet I'd been before ending the call. She didn't enjoy it for long. 2 hours later, after the reunion ended, after the house emptied of parasites, she saw the photos I'd uploaded, my new villa in Switzerland, sunlight spilling across marble floors. My phone lit up with 71 missed calls. That's when I knew something was rotting far deeper than money, and I intended to dig it out, slowly, precisely, without mercy. The next morning felt colder than winter, not because of the weather, because of her. My wife moved around the kitchen with soft footsteps, measured breathing, rehearsed affection. She didn't mention the money. She didn't ask if I slept well. She didn't even look at me. Too quiet, too careful. I watched her pour coffee into her mug instead of mine. A small detail, but betrayal always leaks through the smallest cracks. She spoke in soft, distant fragments. "How was the reunion? Did you talk to my sister? Everything okay?" The words were right. The tone was wrong. She was waiting. Not for me, for the fallout. That's when suspicion began to sharpen itself inside me. I remembered the late-night messages she hid the screen from, the sudden weekend work trips, the new perfume she never wore around me, the way she locked her phone inside the bathroom like a secret that could drown. I didn't ask. Questions give liars room to breathe. Instead, I watched, listened, let her believe I was slow, distracted, harmless. She smiled a little too brightly when she thought I wasn't looking. A smile of someone who thinks they've already won. And then, the first real clue slipped out. Her phone rang. A name flashed, AM. Her fingers twitched. She silenced the call too quickly, too intentionally. "Wrong number," she muttered, tucking the phone away, but her voice faltered on the last word. It wasn't the sound of guilt, it was the sound of someone afraid of being caught too soon. That's when a thought crawled into my mind, quiet, poisonous, undeniable. What if it wasn't just the money? What if I wasn't just being used? What if I was being replaced? The room darkened around me, not from the lack of light, from realization. I didn't react, not yet, because the truth, the real truth, always reveals itself when you stop chasing it. So I waited, and the evidence came to me on its own. I started small, phone records, cloud backups, bank statements she thought I never checked. Every night while she slept beside me with the calmness of the guilty, I became a ghost moving through our digital life. I found patterns, transfers, deleted messages with AM, a photo she thought she erased, just a blurred silhouette of a man standing far too close to her. But the real fracture came 3 days later. I found an old envelope tucked in the back of her dresser. Inside, a receipt, a hotel booking, 2 guests, 3 months ago, the same weekend she claimed she was visiting her aunt. My pulse didn't even spike. It just slowed, like my body was preparing itself for war. I began monitoring everything: her timing, her excuses, her sudden interest in going for walks, the way she smiled at her phone, then quickly straightened her face when I walked in. Meanwhile, I stayed calm. Predictable, almost gentle. You learn a lot about a person when they think they're smarter than you. She grew careless. Her lies got smoother. Too smooth, like she had practiced them with someone. And when she thought I was in the shower, she whispered into her phone, "No, he won't find out. He never pays attention." I stood behind the door, water running, heart still. That was the moment I stepped out of denial and into strategy. I ordered DNA kits, not because I doubted my children, but because betrayal rarely lives alone. Quietly, I created backups of everything: every text, every bank transfer, every lie. I didn't want confrontation, not until the truth could suffocate her without me raising a hand. When the results finally arrived, a thick envelope resting in the mailbox, I held it like a blade. I didn't open it outside. I waited, hours, silent, still, until she walked into the living room, smiling through another lie. Then I slit the envelope open, and my world changed. The report slid into my hands like a verdict. DNA, financial activity, phone records, everything I suspected, everything she denied without me even asking. It wasn't just cheating, it was coordination, collusion, a slow draining of my accounts into hers and into AM's. My wife's sister had been the funnel. My wife had been the architect. AM had been the destination, a perfect triangle of greed. I walked into the kitchen, the papers hanging loosely from my fingers. "Who is he?" I asked quietly. She froze, not because she didn't know who I meant, but because she knew I already knew. Her face drained, her breathing hitched, her hands shook around the mug she held. I placed the papers on the counter, neatly, calmly. She flipped through the pages. Her eyes widened, her lips parted in a soundless gasp. The truth collapsed her faster than any scream could have. I watched her break without touching her. She cried, begged, reached for me. I stepped back. Her fingers touched air. I didn't yell, I didn't accuse, I didn't ask why. Instead, I pulled out my phone, opened the gallery, turned the screen toward her. Photos of the villa in Switzerland, my villa, the one she never knew about, the one bought months ago, before her affair even began. Her eyes widened in disbelief. You bought this?" "I did. And you? Didn't tell me?" "I had my reasons." She swallowed, realizing the truth. All her stolen money, all her schemes, all her plans, they were nothing, pennies compared to what I already owned. "You wanted my savings," I said quietly, "but you never understood me." I stepped closer, just enough for her to feel the coldness radiating off me. "You stole scraps," I whispered. "I was offering you the world." She collapsed against the counter, sobbing. I turned toward the door. "Where are you going?" she begged. "Home," I said. "But this is—" No, I cut in softly. "This was a place we lived. My home is somewhere you will never see." I left her standing in the ruins she built herself. I drove with one hand on the steering wheel, the other resting against the window, feeling nothing. Not anger, not grief, just release. People think betrayal shatters you. It doesn't. It clarifies you. The villa in Switzerland was silent when I arrived. Clean, untouched, mine. I poured a drink, sat on the balcony overlooking the mountains. Let the cold air wash everything off me. My phone buzzed once. Her name. I blocked the call without opening it. Then I blocked the next one, and the next. When the final notification vanished from the screen, I felt the world settle into place again. No rage, no longing, just truth. The kind that frees you. I watched the sun sink behind the mountains and whispered the final line of a life I no longer wanted. Some people lose you. Others never deserved you. Then I closed the door behind me. Quiet, brutal, final.